Hey guys, it's Chris. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have the Team Associated Ultra Fox. Yeah, I know a lot of people are upset with Team Associated. They feel like they're ripping off the 80s Tamiya designs. Yeah, I mean, they blatantly show you in the advertisement on YouTube of this car when they introduced it, Team Associated. They showed a picture of a fox, of a Tamiya fox. So, yeah, the styling comes from it. Was I excited to build this one? Yes, and not so much because it has a monoshock. It was because I just love the way it looked. I gotta say, when I first put the car together, I already had a body pre-built for this car, pre-made. So I already painted it in PS59, dark metallic blue, Tamiya dark metallic blue. I didn't want to do it in the PS4 or the PS16, which I think either the original or the re Tamiya Fox calls for, or Nova Fox, whatever they call it now. I don't have one. I never had a Fox, so I have no clue. Correct me if I'm wrong, but whatever. It doesn't really make a difference. I just didn't want, it's my car. Paint any color I like, right? So anyway, I had the body all ready to go, except for the special templates that you need for the roll bars. I put the decals on before I built the car. Like I did the body first, which is the opposite of what I usually do. And I just fell in love with it. I love the way this car looked with the yellow and the blue and the white. Fantastic. Um, I did put the just if you have a familiarity with the Ultra Champ, same with the Ultra Fox, they give you a decal template to stick on the outside of the body, the trim for the Nerf bars and for the different bulkhead. They do that, and they make it easier, obviously, for you to cut the body out. I wish I didn't cut out the Nerf bars. I don't like the Nerf bars. The Nerf bars look stupid. I wish I didn't cut the side of the body out. I wish I just would have taken the Nerf bars off. But it's too late now, so it's staying like this. But when I first put the body on the chassis, before I put the bumper on and the shocks, I started building the chassis. I just fell in love with it. Like, oh, I think it's better looking than the Ultra Champ. I was so excited. When I completed the build, I was a little disappointed. Now I'll tell you, one of there's me taste wise what I didn't like, and there's things that I just don't like, period, about the kit, and there's things that are positive about the kit. If you're looking for nostalgia and you want that feeling, when it was done, I felt like I built a Fox. So I felt that. As soon as the car was done, I stepped back. It felt like I had a Tamiya Fox completed in my collection. Um, Negative, the suspension's crap, okay? This front suspension, zero. If you're going to run this car, convert it to dual shock and be done with it. It's pretty neat because it has the same tie rods with the marking for the left and right hand threads. I think they're the titanium ones, and I think come in the Masami kits. But it has the old-fashioned, the typical plastic ball joints that came with the original RC10, just molded in black. As you can see, majority of the car is molded in black. There's a couple of spots that aren't. Another one of my complaints where I don't know why they just didn't mold these 4 pieces in black. So like I said, suspension's crap. The bumper is kind of stupid. I mean, I could do without the bumper. I put it on because it's part of the kit, but I don't know. The Viper body is beautiful. So the shape and the look of this car, without the bumper, without the Nerf bars, I think it looks 10 times better. That's me. And if I haven't built another one, this would be gone and the Nerf bars would be gone. I know that's what makes it a Ultra Fox, but no bueno. I don't like it. That's just my opinion. So we'll get to the nitty gritty. First off, we'll start with the suspension. I'm going to put pictures up throughout this, my nonsense talking. So you could see exactly better than me just showing the camera. You'll see the pictures from the manual or close-up pictures I've taken during the assembly. I want you to take a peek. It's a short shock tower, okay? And that's how it connects the suspension. So it's typical, standard RC10 original front suspension. It's the front arms. It just has a unique sway bar that's like, it looks like it's shorter, and it mounts to where the shocks would go. So it's very interesting. It's got this design where the sway bar goes where the shocks would be. If you're doing the typical front dual shock setup, like the factory. Everything else is pretty much the same. Like I said, the bulk is just shorter, and then you have these add-ons here. These like fiberglass FRP add-ons to just space out for the monoshock. The monoshock is a huge standard RC10 shock. Yeah, like I said, it's crap. It's not a good front suspension. You took an awesome design and you just ruined it with the monoshock. But it's functional, but it's really for, I think it's really for the nostalgia of the build. That's what it's really for. You go to the back of the car, you have a 6-gear transmission. Why? I don't know. Put a stealth transmission in it. You want me to run this thing? Put a stealth transmission in it. My other complaint about why, it's just laziness. If you can see it, I'll have other pictures up. Look at that. So you got a black gearbox. All the molded parts, all the nylon parts are molded in black, but the retaining cups and the eccentrics that hold the gear assembly in is white. Why did they do that for? I don't get it. Or my voice getting higher? I don't know either. But it's just, I don't know. It's like Hodge, half a job, man. Like, just make it all black, or I don't know. To me, that's just annoying. Okay, that's for the money you spend on these things. I feel it's a little lazy. The gold wheels are awesome. I love the gold wheels. Gold wheels are neat. The decals were fantastic to put on. So, jumping ahead, but we're going to go to the body because I just want to talk about the body while it's on my mind. Excuse me. Like all the decals that are on the Team Associated kits now, they're pre-cut out. In the instructions, which I'll show, they tell you to put on sticker, because the decals are numbered, right? Just like Tamiya and most kits, you know, obviously start with 1, 2, whatever. You would think that. They tell you to start with decals 46 and 45, which is 46 and 45, which is a silver. And I used very little water technique, and it went on so smooth. These decals almost fell into place. I was really happy with the decals. The only issue I had was because once you put down the silver, this middle decal here, these silver decals, the first thing you want to do is start outlining it with the with the stripes. The number 1 decal is this stripe here. Is this one? Is this outline here? So this is 45. This is 46. This is number 1. Well, okay, you could put that on as number 1, but then if you go, you know, if you're doing things in like kind of a sequence, you say, well, I want to line up this with this and make sure everything lines up. So you put this decal on next, this stripe. I don't know which number it is. The problem with that is there's a decal that's supposed to go around here, okay, around the window. Like most, like the Masami kits and most of the RC10 kits, they have these black decals. And don't get me wrong, the decal is a high quality decal and it does fold over nice. But I made the mistake. I put these decals on first, the stripes. Really, it should be the black decal first, then you put the stripe over it so you can make it line up perfectly, because it has like pre-cuts in it, and it's meant to be folded over in a certain way. The only thing is, once I did put it on, and I was going to trim it, I would have gotten it on there because it's supposed to be black up to here, like it does curves into the shock area. I didn't like the way it looked. Sometimes less is more, and in this situation, in my opinion, with this dark color blue, and you can see in the light, I thought it was gorgeous without the black trim. Now, if it's a lighter color, it might have looked good. And the box art has, if you can see over here, it has this black trim here. Even there, it looks like a piece of electrical tape, in my opinion. It didn't need it. So even though I couldn't really do the decal, because once I laid this down, I wasn't going to lift it up, I was so happy with the way it looked, I stopped. So that's the only thing that's not box art, is that I left out the decal that surrounds this. I mean, you could even, if you plan it right, you could even paint it, you know, before you put the decals. But I feel the best part about this kit is the decals. I mean, I think the decals, the gold wheels, I love it. I think it looks fantastic. Even in the back. I mean, look at the back of this thing. The stripes, the wing. I mean, I got to trim the wing. The wing's a little long. For some reason, every time I build an RC10 kit, I leave the wing too long. I have to trim it. And I have to polish the body. I have to just go over it and clean it, because sometimes when I do the water technique, it leaves little spots. I've been very busy. You can see I'm set up for painting. I've been painting lots of RC car hard bodies. A lot of Ford Ranger and some behind me is a sand scorcher. So I've been a little busy. So my work area has been converted to a paint area. anyway, let me just show. Let's open this up. I'll give you the nitty gritty of the layout. It's a basic RC10. The cool thing is that I think they're pretty smart what they did. So Team Associated, in my opinion, because I have an Ultra Champ, I think they set this car up if you wanted to run trailing arms, like the Ultra Champ. So this setup here and here, you see this wing setup. This is what the Ultra Champ has. This is the wing setup that you would use for the trailing arms. They make you use this setup. You don't really need it. Like you could technically, this car could have a standardized bulkhead from the original kit. I mean, and then maybe they use it to support these Nerf bars. But I feel it's really more for the choice of converting to a trailing arm system, because I know those parts are supposed to be available. They're not available yet. And since I have an Ultra Champ, I could tell you that it's a plate. You take this would come off. You take the bull joint out of there, and there's some mounting hardware that goes in here, and there's a piece that goes across the top. So it wouldn't be that hard to convert this to trailing arms. That's kind of cool in a way if they're making their kits, especially these heritage kits, brought it out, that you could convert to all the heritage parts. I mean, that's, excuse me, my view on it, or maybe my assumption, but I think that's kind of neat. It does have a associated hologram decal in there, the genuine sticker, but it's not numbered. So this is not, even though I got it from the Heritage Collection, not a numbered kit. All back here is standard RC10, the classic, 4th anniversary kit. It's standard dog bones, standard flange. These bearings, the whole kit has bearings, which is cool. Flange bearings in the back. I think they're 3/8. I don't remember 3/8 or a quarter. I always get them confused. So it's nothing really different, other than the bulkhead is different. So if you know anything about the Ultra Champ, it has a unique bulkhead. Since we're talking about the bulkhead, when you do this assembly, if you're going to build this car, what I've learned from doing the Ultra Champ and now this car, I've learned bolt these parts in first. These wings, they look like, to me, it looks like a wing. Bolt these down first, because these parts here, these extensions, are exactly the same as the RC10 4-wheel drive. So this is where they got these from. So these are just in black, which is neat. So if you ever wanted to convert your RC10 4-wheel drive and you want them in black, you could probably get them when they're available. Or you just dye them, whatever you want to do. But anyway, here's the wings. Like I said in my last video, this little brace here, put that on last, because if you try doing it first, it doesn't fit right. There's holes in, there's a space in here. Just wiggle it in and clip it and push it up, and then put your bolts in. Easy peasy. I would do that. Also, there's 2 bolts that go back in here. There's a bolt right in here, if you can see it. That bolt, the bulkhead to the wings. I would leave everything loose. I wouldn't. So I'd bolt down the 4-wheel drive eccentrics. These long pieces here. Terrible. I'll put pictures up. And then I would bolt down the wings, not fully tightened. Bolt down the bulkhead, and maybe don't bolt the bulkhead down fully tighten either, and get these long bolts in here first. So they're going this way to tie everything together. If you tighten everything down, it's hard sometimes to start it. So if you leave it loose, you could wiggle it together. That's one of the things I've learned. That's what I would do. So it's one of the little tricks. Here we go again with the white stuff. I don't know why that couldn't have been black. I mean, the whole car is black. Why couldn't those 3 parts or 4 parts, because one behind the gear case, why couldn't that be black? I don't know. Lazy. It comes with the gear cover for the Gen 2 stealth transmission, which says the big slipper. It bumps the body, or might. I didn't even try it. I'm just going to order from from what do you call it, from Team Blue Groove. I'll just order the standard copies of the originals. That's why it's not on there. And I didn't bolt the 2 bolts in the back. I just forgot. I was in the back here. I didn't do the bolts either. I got busy, so I have to just finish that. Other than that, the car's pretty much done. Here again is the up close look of the unique front suspension, the monoshock with the whole contraption for the sway bar. You need that sway bar or else the thing is just bounces around. You can see it's got a little bit of play. It's okay. I mean, it does wiggle a little bit. It's a monoshock. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just this part's disappointing. It looks cool, but it's disappointing. But overall, the build, it was fun to build. I was sorry that I made the camera shake. I was more excited when I saw the car with the body just like this. When the body was just like with the decals, without the stupid wings, the Nerf balls, whatever, and without the bumper, it looked so much better. When I put the whole car together, because what they do is they give you a template to cut the slot out for the Nerf ball, and this is for the for that wing section I was showing you. This is fine to cut out. I mean, that's fine. I wish I didn't cut out the Nerf bars. I should have taken the Nerf bars off. It just, to me, it looks dopey with the Nerf bars. I don't like it. And the bumper, it's a different bumper than the one for the Ultra Champ, which is cool. I mean, they did, make a bumper design just for this kit. But it's I don't know, it's unnecessary in my opinion. I mean, it fits the part. It does make it look like a fox when it's all done. But I don't know. But anyway, you can just look at the body one last time. The body's beautiful. I love this. I think this body is awesome. I love the look of it. It's got so many decals. And the cool thing is they give you extra decals. So they give you Team Associated in a different color, like yellow and black, I believe. I think they give you another, if you want to do the wing a different way, I think they give you like the classic RC10, more like the wing going up this way, the striping. So you have a little flexibility with your design. You don't have to make it exactly box art. They do give you a ton more decals. And I take pictures of the decals, so I'll put them up in La La Land. So overall, my I don't know. I was more excited when I first started building it. I do love the way the Viper body looks. I think the gimmicky add-ons to make it look like a Ultra Fox is where it becomes gimmicky and added on, and it's non-functional. It doesn't look very good. But if you just sold me a body like this, or just sold me a decal kit like this is fantastic. I think I just one of the best looking decal. I like the livery. I think the livery hits it. It's 80s, bam. It doesn't have to be a Tamiya Fox, but that livery is awesome. So that's pretty much my babble. Sorry if I sound tired. I'm exhausted. I'm on 3 hours sleep, and I really wanted to do the video, and I got so much stuff going on, so I don't know when I was going to get a chance to do this. So anyway, please leave a comment, like, subscribe. Helps me make more videos, keeps me involved, and yeah, thank you.